Hey guys, it's Bastian time. Welcome to this episode of This Week in Nintendo News. I'm your host Bastian. Let's get to that first story. So first up is, there was a new Nintendo Direct this past week. In fact, basically there were kind of two, but only one that really pertains to everywhere outside of Japan. And true to form, Nintendo just sort of drops these Nintendo Directs on everybody kind of out of nowhere. It used to be that they would sort of plan these things like a month in advance, and then we'd be waiting for that Nintendo Direct, but that's not really the case anymore. Now they just sort of let you know a day at a time that there's going to be a Nintendo Direct, and then you can watch it. But anyways, not a whole lot that super fascinated me was revealed, just things along the lines of the fact that Pikmin 3 has sort of a release window set up finally, and that's going to be the second quarter of 2013, so basically springtime. Probably just like right before E3 or something. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what the specific date is, but second quarter 2013. Also coming out in the spring is the Luigis Mansion Dark Moon game, and then also they said that within the next 3 weeks there will be over 30 Wii U games released. That is a lot. I hope to goodness that it's not just silly little shovelware sort of things, but hopefully we'll get some really awesome announcements for really awesome games. And then also the new Fire Emblem game, Awakening, is coming out on February 4th, so we finally have a specific date for that as well. Besides all of that Nintendo Direct stuff, during the Wii U's launch, several unfortunate things came to light about the Wii U, which is a little sad. These things, of course, will surely be fixed soon by updates, so probably by the time you hear about these things, they may have already been fixed. But one unfortunate Wii U owner accidentally, well, not accidentally, he on purpose dragged his Wii U disc icon over on top of his Wii disc icon, expecting them to swap places, because that happens with all the other icons. You can sort of maneuver them around. But instead of swapping places, what ended up happening is that his Wii U disc icon was eaten up by his Wii disc icon, so at this point in time, he is not able to play Wii U games. That's a horrendous bug, but again, surely that Nintendo will fix that via a software update. Also, over in the PAL countries, Europe basically, and elsewhere, basically non-North American countries, that version of the Wii U is not upscaling Wii games. So that is really unfortunate, but again, that is something that I'm sure Nintendo can simply fix with a quick little software update, so not that big of a deal. I'm sure that those issues will be rectified soon. Something else that you might be aware of that happened during the Wii U's launch is, well, in Miiverse, you can draw images, and then those will sort of show up for everybody if you're in that area, or if it's like a topic that's being discussed, or what have you. And a lot of people were using this as an opportunity to draw some inappropriate images. These videos are sort of family-oriented, so I'm not really going to explain exactly what it was, but you can sort of guess based on the fact that, so what happened is Nintendo then created, either they had people who were going through all those images and removing those inappropriate pictures, or they may have created some sort of censor software that sort of looked for that kind of shape and then removed all of those. I'm not really sure which is the case, but I'm sort of leaning towards the software side of things, because what ended up happening is somebody drew an image very innocently. It wasn't even an attempt to sort of circumvent the censorship. They drew an image of Samus, the arm cannon, Samus's arm cannon, and either the software misunderstood what that was, or maybe even an actual live person somehow got confused, and so it was removed for inappropriate content. So it's pretty amusing, if you ask me. I don't really understand why people decided to sort of abuse Miiverse's images. I mean, I've taken a look at Miiverse, and what I really like about it is that there are a lot of amazing artists out there who are using Miiverse as a way to sort of show off their awesome art skills with regards to Nintendo franchises. Some really amazing, beautiful Zelda images I've seen out there that are just drawn by somebody on their gamepad for Miiverse. Pretty great stuff. So, anyways, pretty funny. And then this is a bit sad for me, and it is the final cover, the cover for the final Nintendo Power. And it still is very frustrating that Nintendo has allowed Nintendo Power to die, which is because of this lack of communication, really, lack of agreement with the publisher of Nintendo Power Future. But what is awesome about it is that it is very, very obviously paying homage to the very first issue of Nintendo Power, which I remember from back when I received that very first issue, because, yes, I am older than the turn of the times. So I did receive the very first issue of Nintendo Power back when I was a kid, and it was for Super Mario Bros. 2, and it was clay version of Mario with warts sort of chasing him from behind, and mushrooms and such, so it's really nice to see that Nintendo Power is sort of paying respects back to its very first issue. But it does make me a little bit sad. So it looks like we finally know what the actual price is going to be for brand new Wii U GamePads. Of course, you probably know that you cannot purchase these yet in America, because Nintendo is really trying to get the consumers to understand that you really only, at this point in time, you really only need one gamepad. All of the games currently being made for the Wii U just involve one gamepad, and then if it's a multiplayer game, you can just use your regular old Wii U Motion Plus controllers and nunchucks and such. So, that being said, obviously in the future they will allow people to buy a second Wii U gamepad, because it may very well possibly be that developers will develop games that require two Wii U gamepads. That being the case, we now know that the gamepad is likely going to be $85, which is kind of a lot of money, but it makes sense. I mean, it's a pretty fancy schmancy piece of technology. And the way that this was discovered is because when you have an issue with your Wii U gamepad and you send it in for repair or whatever, they don't charge you for a brand new one, but for whatever reason, when you receive your packing slip, it lists the price of the Wii U gamepad as $85. So, anyways, now we know. By now, you surely have heard the song Dumb Ways to Die, and watched the video, and if you haven't, just pause right now, go ahead and look it up on YouTube, watch it. First of all, it's a fantastic song, but more importantly, it's a hilarious video. Because basically everybody and their goat has seen it at this point, sure enough, somebody has created a video game version parody, and it's pretty amusing. It definitely has a lot of in-jokes about really annoying ways that you can die in video games. Well, I mean, the Zelda one is really your fault. If you do what this video describes, you kind of deserve it. But anyways, really awesome parody of a really awesome song/video, so if you want to check it out, link down below. And speaking of awesome videos, this one is amazing. It is somebody... or maybe a group of somebodies, sort of recreated a whole bunch of sprites from Super Mario World out of beads, and then used those to animate an amazing, pretty long video that sort of takes these Super Mario World sprites on an adventure all across a city. It looks like a European city, but anyways, it's amazing. You definitely got to watch this one. It's just, wow. I have no idea. Now, this next final story is half fact, half rumor. The fact is, Square-Enix has trademarked All the Bravest, and that is going to be a title for a video game. The rumor side of things is, surely this has got to be the westernized localization of Bravely Default, because, let's face it, Bravely Default Flying Fairy probably not going to sell so well with that title, but All the Bravest makes a whole lot more sense. So, I mean, fingers crossed, but up until this point, Square-Enix has kept their lips zipped about whether or not they really were going to localize Bravely Default over here, and it looks like an amazing game. It's basically going to be probably my favorite game on the 3DS up until a brand new Zelda comes out. But anyways, it just looks awesome. I can't wait to play it, and I hope that All the Bravest is that, a localized version of Bravely Default, for two reasons. One, because I really want to play Bravely Default, but also, that title is so idiotic, and All the Bravest, so much better. So, anyways, let's hope that that's the case, and that because they've trademarked it, maybe it's coming out soon, so stay tuned. So that's it for this episode of This Week in Nintendo News. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.